Oh my god, are we live? Are we live? Hopefully we are. I have no idea. Let us know if you can hear us. We have been having some crazy, oh my lord, the just insane issues, technical issues.
I'm glad it's not just me. You know, on my own channel, I have issues every now and then. I'm glad to know I'm not alone on that.
Oh my, so. You know what? I had a bunch in the chat, by the way. Let us know if you can hear us and see us. You know, I think we're going out live, but make sure, let us know if you can actually hear us, because I need to probably do that as well a little bit. It's been insane. But thank you so much for everyone for waiting. I did have a bunch of other stuff, like technical stuff I was going to have Andre in the background with like clips and stuff. I think we're just going to keep it simple from now on and just let the chat do the talking. But as you can see with us, we've got Andre from GameXplain and Birria 507 to talk loads of Nintendo Switch 2 stuff with us. Andre, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. How are you, dude?
Right, we're days away from a brand new Nintendo console for the first time in what feels like 30 years. So I'm pretty excited. We have a new Mario Kart. I can't wait to talk about everything. So,
Birria?
Bro, I'm glad to be here one more time. Thank you, ATV. Just 1 week, bro. Just 1 week.
1 week. 1 week. It's God, we've got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about how we feel, first of all, you know, about the console just 4 days away from being launched. I don't know why I didn't think about this until about an hour ago. That I completely forgot. Andre's played the Switch 2. He's played Mario Kart. He's played what I really want to talk about, Cyberpunk, and amongst everything else. So I was like, we have to like talk. Do we have to ask any questions anyone's got about Andre's experience playing the Switch 2, playing the games, especially Cyberpunk. You know, and then we're going to talk about the Ocarina of Time Remake, the Nintendo Direct, rumored Nintendo Direct, supposedly on the week of launch or the week after. Give our predictions, maybe 3 predictions each, and then take some questions. We're gonna be on for about an hour and 20. So Andre, bless him, is hang on with us, but he's got, you know, he's a busy man, so we don't want to keep his time. So again, just let us know if everything is good in the chat, if the volume is all peachy, and we're gonna start with straight away, just 4 days away, Andre. It's practically here, like they're almost in on the way in delivery. The postman's got them in his bag. How are you feeling about it, and how excited are you in comparison to past launch, Nintendo launch systems? You know, I'm thinking about the Wii U and the original Switch. How do you feel in comparison?
Oh man, that's a good question. Yeah, so I'm excited. Like, it's a, you know, new console, brand new launch games. I mean, Mario Kart World. I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. After, like, you know, over 10 years of Mario Kart 8, I'm ready to move on to the new one. Especially after playing it, I'm like, okay, this game's a ton of fun. At least from, you know, that session. So yeah, I'm excited. But I will say, compared to past Nintendo systems, it does feel a little different. It's almost the inverse of the Wii U for me, in a good way this time, I think, where for the Wii U, I was excited for what the hardware could do, but the game launch lineup wasn't all that spectacular, you know, even though I do love Nintendo Land. In hindsight, it wasn't the best game to launch with, I think, you know, alongside New Super Mario Brothers U. But now with Mario Kart World, it's a pretty hype launch game, so that's really exciting. But hardware-wise, it's weird because it's very much like we very much know what it is. Like, it's a very much an iteration of the Switch 1, probably for the better, just because it worked for Nintendo. So hopefully it'll work again. I'm sure for the, you know, they're hoping it's gonna work again for them. But it doesn't offer like a whole lot that's new beyond, you know, beyond better graphics, and also the mouse, which is neat. But otherwise, it's very much like, you know, we very much know the overall experience. So it's hard to get too excited, especially as one who plays mostly docked, you know, where like I won't really benefit from the bigger screen and some of the other enhancements they've added to the portability factor of it all. But, you know, I'm still excited overall. It's just like hardware-wise, it's, you know, it's a known factor. Software-wise, what I'm really excited for Mario Kart World is a pretty pretty exciting game overall. So I can't wait to play more of that in particular.
Oh yes, Birria. How do you feel? Birria's like me, super hardcore fan. How do you feel, Birria?
I'm excited, bro, because it's like Andre said, it's this feel a little bit different because he just say from in the Wii U we got just you say Mario U, right?
Right. And Nintendo
So
Land,
in
yeah.
this one,
Whoa.
because
Shame on both
Sorry?
of you. Shame. Where is it? Where is it? Didn't we
Uh-oh.
also get?
Pause.
Oh, you know,
We're
I don't
done.
have it here. Didn't we also get the best horror game ever made, Zombie U, on day one? Shame.
yo, Zombie U, we miss you. We miss
Shame
you.
on you both. Sorry, Birria. Yes, you're saying.
Yeah, so it's exciting because let's say with the Switch we got and Zelda really well. So of course that was a huge game. So now we got Mario Kart and World. So that I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to say that this game is more exciting than Zelda. I don't want to say that because Zelda is Zelda, but I'm a big Mario Kart fan. I have like maybe 600 hours or more on the game from the Wii U on this game. So I'm excited for that game. So come on, hey, this week, hey.
I mean, we've never had a launch Mario Kart before, right? So that's really exciting in and of itself. On the other hand, kind of to what you're saying, you know, it's not Zelda, obviously. I mean, it's not trying to be Zelda. But I do think, to your point, that we are kind of missing that, like, that big, you know, single player outing, right? Like, usually Nintendo has one of those at launch that really kind of showcases.
I thought that they was going to, because ATV, he was talking to me months ago. He thought that they will bring Mario Kart for, you know, the multiplayer and Metroid. But I told him that will be good, but that will be let's say risky, because you know that Metroid game are good, but they never sell, you know, that well. You can compare like Splatoon right now they are sitting like in 12 million, maybe 14.
Yeah.
But Metroid is always like 2-3 million. So I really don't know if Nintendo want to play with that. So I don't know. I never saw like Metroid coming day one on the Switch too.
Yeah,
So,
like
I don't know.
I had that exact same thought, because I feel weird about Mario Kart. I don't know why, because I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it for the next 10 years.
Why?
Right, because I will play. You know, I know I'm gonna love it. I love every Mario Kart except for the one on the Wii. The one on the Wii.
What?
I don't like the one on the Wii. I don't.
Okay.
But
You know, like a steering wheel? Come on.
Yeah. It's like one corner, next corner. Like but you know, as much as I like, and I do think it's a smart move, it's a very, very smart move from Nintendo, because it's almost like if someone releases with Call of Duty, where if like all your friends buy a game like that, you're gonna want to get it to be playing with them. So you know, if 5 of your friends have got Mario Kart, you're gonna buy it just to be able to play Mario Kart with them. But when I get a new system, you know, I tend to want a big world to jump into. To show me what the machine can do, you know, show me what worlds it can build, show me the leap between consoles, you know, like I want that experience. And so, and I actually didn't think it would have, I don't think it would have been, in my opinion, a risky move to have Metroid at the same time, because I think they're two different audiences. It's almost like, you know, like Oppenheimer and Barbie, like, you know, it's that kind of thing. I think they would help each other out, because I think most people would want a big world to jump into, plus have Mario Kart, you know, on the side. So
did you forget this game's literally called Mario Kart World?
Sorry, go.
say again, Andre.
It's got world in the title. How many more worlds do you need? I'm kidding.
This is when they're smart. This is when they're smart. You know, and they you know, when people were complaining about the price, right? The $80. I think it was Bill Trinan who kept saying, hey, but you haven't seen everything that's in the game. You know, there's more things in the open world. You know, there's a P button. There's, you know, whatever else. You know, so yeah, I do think I'm quite excited. I think someone put the idea to me that maybe it could end up being almost like its own Fortnite, where the map just gets continuously renewed and added to, and, you know, all kinds of things. Maybe there'll be no DLC. Maybe this will be it. Maybe they'll just keep adding stuff to it, because, you know, if they add DLC to it as well, guys, You know, if it's $80 and then another 20, like
They will
people
do
will
it.
talk.
Come on, TV. They will do it. They're going to do it.
They're gonna do it.
I think you're right.
And we're gonna order it. So
Yeah, maybe here, maybe in 2 years, because we Animal Crossing we got the DLC when 1 year later or two. I really don't remember.
yeah, something
The
like
Animal
that.
Crossing
Was it that
Happy Home
long?
Design or
Maybe.
something like that.
I can't
Yeah,
remember how long ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. But yeah, I feel like
The
Nintendo.
Switch one, that was 3 years later, I think. But it launched right as COVID hit.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
insane.
It's
to me.
still pretty early. Like still in the first half of the Switch's lifespan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like Smash Brothers. Like, what the hell are they gonna do next? Like Smash Brothers or Mario Kart, even it's got, what is it? I think it's got like 96 tracks by the time it was done, and all the different modes, like 1 million characters. I think the fact that they went for something like open world racing, whatever, they had to do something like that. They couldn't just create another Mario Kart with just, they couldn't release it with like 30 tracks after having 96 in, I don't know, 15 characters and then make you start all over again. Like, I think this is a very, very smart thing. It needed a new direction. Like I know in 8 we had the gravity, tracks, but I think this is way more impressive. But sorry, Andre.
Anti-gravity, was never that fun to me. Like
No,
it made for
wasn't
cool
that
track
bothered.
designs, but when you're actually racing on it, you barely even notice
Yeah.
it. So I'm very excited for the direction they took here because there's new gameplay mechanics. The open world looks fun. We'll have to see how it fully holds up after days and weeks of playtime. But I really like the direction they've gone in with this one. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
The longevity.
I've got to ask you because the game I'm super. Oh, well, there's two actually. There's two games I'm super excited to play. More than Mario Kart, even more than Mario Kart.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna say it. And one of them, I don't think we'll talk about it that much, is Fast Fusion. That game looks, man, day one. What did they say? They said today, I think 4K 60. It's gonna have 120 FPS mode in the future. They're hoping. I can't remember what the specs were undocked, but the game looks so good. And I think I don't know if I saw that there was some kind of like you can use attacks maybe now, or I was looking at the trailer. I don't know if anyone does deep dive analysis of trailers is GameXplain, but I saw a couple of what would you call them, racers almost dashing away from explosions behind them, but it looked like they were being aimed at, and then they had the big massive spiky balls. Stop it, Birria. Big spiky balls that it looks like another obstacles to get in your way. So they're adding stuff to it. I know there's only 12 tracks, but they already said they're gonna add to those. But the one I'm like, I want to try so bad is Cyberpunk. Like, that is the one. And there's been so much talk. Haters have come out for me. I'm still here because I dared to say what Digital Foundry took time to say, that it looks better than the Xbox Series S version. They said it, not me. But Andre played the game. God bless you, sir. What were you? Had you played it before on other consoles, and what were your impressions when you played it?
No, it was my first time playing it. I mean, I was aware of some of the initial drama around its original release, but that had been improved over time. But yeah, playing it on Switch 2, like seeing that in act, I will be honest, it was actually probably one of the two most impressive games I played at the event. Just seeing it, there's something about the scale of that game and the art direction that just felt impressive and like awe-inspiring, and the fact that I was playing it on the Nintendo platform was like truly impressive. So I obviously didn't play a ton of the game. Like, it's a huge open world game, right? I think it's open world. I played maybe 20 minutes of it, but based on what I saw, I'm like, man, this is awesome. That's working on Switch too. I think a lot of people are gonna be in for a really good time, especially now that they're getting, if you missed up to this point, you're playing now the much enhanced, the polished version of the game that's so much better than what it was at the launch period of it 5 years ago. And I think a lot of people are going to be really, really happy with this.
Is that? I mean, and I'll speed it as well. But aside from Mario Kart, because we're all going to play that, what's the game you're most looking forward to getting at launch? Andre first.
To be honest, Mario Kart World's the only game I pre-ordered. It's
Is it really?
It's all I need. I don't think I'm playing anything else, to be fully honest with you. So, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, and Birria, what's the first game you want to play other than Mario Kart?
Oh wait, you're talking about day one or no, the launch cycle?
Day one.
Day one, that will be, of course, Mario Kart and Cyberpunk. But I
know what you're gonna say. Go on. I know what you're gonna say.
I'm more excited with Demon X Machina 2. I don't know
Oh,
why,
damn! I
but
did not think you were
that
going to say
game
that.
looks beautiful.
Okay.
At least for me. At least for
Yeah.
me. So I'm really excited for that game.
I want to know in the chat before we leave the last 5 minutes or so. We're going to go through all the whatever questions you have. So save whatever questions you have for Birria and Andre. But I wanted to talk about Birria knows this. In fact, Birria, shame on him. He's one of the biggest Nintendo fans. He says, but he's never played Donkey Kong Country. Shame on
come
you.
on, bro. Let's go now.
Leave.
Ayala, yo, you're going to expose me like that?
Get out.
I did not know this
Wow.
before I agreed to hop on here. I'm out. I'm done.
Come in, insult our guest. But like,
Thank you,
I
TV,
say
thank
that
you.
because most people on my channel know that Donkey Kong is my favorite franchise. It's been ever since Super Nintendo. I still play Donkey Kong Country 1 at least 2 or 3 times a year. And so, like, if you had told me before the trailer that there was going to be a 3D Donkey Kong, I would have said about time. I would have been so excited. And yet, oh, don't come for me, haters! Don't come for me. There's something about it when I saw it. It didn't.
Don't say
It
it.
up. It didn't. I'll tell you for why. Because I could tell instantly it was, and this is not to say it's a bad thing, but I could tell that it wasn't retro. I could tell it was the Mario Odyssey team. I know since then I did an interview with Nintendo insider Nash Weedle, and he seemed to think that it was not just the Nintendo Mario team, but also predictably Monolith is helping out massively on the game. But I couldn't help but think, this just looks, it feels too much like Odyssey to me. And then I saw the gameplay. And whenever I watch, I keep going up and down. There's times I think it looks amazing, but there's other times I think, I hope there's more to it, because I feel like I'd get bored quite quickly if I'm just bashing things up constantly. I like the fact that we saw the 2D part, in the trailer, like a little snippet. There's hints that, obviously Cranky Kong's in there. We better have Diddy Kong, and it looks like Rambi and all that kind of stuff. But you played it, Andre, again.
I played it, and you were basically describing my experience with it. Like, I was actually really hyped initially from the reveal trailer. Hey, it's a new Donkey Kong game. It's in 3D. And I think, even though I love the retro games, I think Tropical Freeze is one of the best platformers ever made. It's not one of the best games ever made. But, it being made by the Mario Odyssey team isn't a bad thing for me. I love Mario Odyssey and all the other Mario games, right? But I will say, having played it, it's probably the game that I was least hyped up from at the Switch 2 event.
Ooh.
Because I did find, like, initially that the ability to destroy anything and dig anything, dig anywhere, like, it's really cool, but after like 2 minutes I'm like, okay, now what? And there's just something about the game that didn't hook me right away, and that's deeply concerning for both the Donkey Kong game and also a game from the Odyssey team. But I typically love their work. Now, I have heard from sources off the record that there is more to the game that they haven't shown yet. So I'm really hoping that's an accurate take on it, because what I've played of it didn't blow me away.
Oh, you see,
and I am concerned that just digging around, like, slowly aiming things in that kind of quasi first person view could get old really fast. But I do have faith in the team. They've made amazing games. I think I've loved pretty much every game they've made, including the original Donkey Kong game being Jungle Beat. They made Jungle Beat, one of the first modern Donkey Kong games, and I'm excited to see what else they do with it. But yeah, I am a little concerned based on the demo. So
yeah. Birria, what did you think about it?
So talking about that DK game, bro, first, you exposed me. Thank you, ETV. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
Shame on you.
Second, you need to say that I finished and passed like 20 years ago Donkey Kong 64. So I really play a Donkey Kong game. Maybe not a DK, with the Super Nintendo, blah, 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 but I played the 64 one. So second. So third, I don't know. I understand what Andre says, and that can get old. But Nintendo can do like the Nintendo Direct and show us more, like they do with the Mario Kart World. That they expand. Hey, you can do this, you can do, and you grinding and all that. So I expect them to do like some sort of Nintendo Direct, like just for
overview. They call it like an overview Direct kind of thing. They call it.
Hey, you can do this, and that. So we saw some information about Pauline inside the game. I don't know how people know that, but I was like, what? She's inside there? Yeah. Okay, I'm not fighting for that. So I'm waiting for that. Yeah.
I'm waiting and hoping that we get King K. Rool in the game. If you play the original game, it'd be so nice to have him back. I will say one of the fun things about the game so far, which may amount to nothing, but there have been a lot of people picking up on little teases in the game of like past Donkey Kong entries. You mentioned Pauline, of course, but then there's also references to like DKC3 and some other titles in the series. So I'm really hopeful that they are digging in deep, and this could be the return to King K. Rool. In which case, hey, I'm there.
Yeah, because I mean, what?
Any new DK rap?
Hey, I'll take it. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, like I've never understood why he just got kicked out of the game in the first place. Like on the what was it Tropical Freeze and Returns. Like I thought, like it seemed like a conscious decision. Like it must have been a conscious decision, but I just can't understand what the reason could have been. Because like I loved Returns and Tropical Freeze, but the bosses I thought and the final boss, I was like, no, come on, you can't go from King K. Rool to those bosses. It was such disrespect. And I thought if he's not in this game, especially after how crazy the reaction was when they put him in Smash. And how happy people were. They must have thought, okay, we made a mistake. Put him back in the game. Like, surely he's going to be there. He's such a cool character. He's a perfect, like almost mirrored Bowser, almost, So, yeah. I mean, I think the cool thing is the fact it's coming out only a month after launch. It's going to sell.
But you think that, okay, we saw that DK have a new design, so you will think that King K. Rool will have a new design or the same one?
Oh, I don't know. What did you both think of the DK new design?
I'm a big fan. I think it looks really good. I love the classic design, but I have to say, I think they modernized it in a really good way. I'm pro the new design.
See, like and then I lost Birria because I'm kind of again. There's parts of it I love. Like I love all the different expressions in his face. I don't like the fur. I don't like what they've done with the fur. And then also, I feel like they've made him like ultra stupid. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like,
why?
Well, because before he had that kind of arrogant, cool thing vibe about him, and then I looked at the new trailer and I couldn't stop thinking, they've turned him into Joey Tribbiani from Friends. Like they've just like they've made him like ultra stupid.
I get that to a degree, but also I feel like Nintendo's been inconsistent with it, because even if you go back to like Donkey Kong Country Returns, like you watch an opening cutscene where the Tikis are like trying to mind control him, and he's too stupid to be mind controlled. He's like dumbly looking at them. So I get it. I totally hear you, because ignoring that, like within gameplay, it looks like he's more serious and more focused. So I kind of agree. Like my hope is that whatever characterization he has in this new game, it's not how he's going to be portrayed in every game.
Yeah.
But I do overall like, the fact that he's more emotive. And I will say the main thing that really cemented it for me is when we saw the new art of the entire Mario cast, including DK's new design.
Yeah.
He blends in so much better now than he did before, where he looked really out of place. Whereas he now actually feels like part of the cast. Yeah. If they're trying to like make this one singular world. So
that's true. Yeah. How are you guys feeling about, or people asking about Ocarina Remake? We're going to talk about the Ocarina Remake. Jesus, I did one interview with Nash Wido and it went bloody everywhere. I was like, oh my, I don't like this. People got to hear me speak Spanish. I was like, well, I don't know about this. But what was I was gonna say? Oh, that's it. How do you guys feel about game chat? But specifically like the camera stuff. I feel like Nintendo's really, like they're really putting stock into this. Like they really want this to lift off. I don't think they're gonna drop it like I don't know, like the the stuff they had on 1-2 Switch. When they were really showing off, and a lot of those things didn't really use that much afterwards. We got HD Rumble, but they didn't really go crazy with it. But this
didn't use that at launch,
yeah. But this, I feel like I feel like they really want this to be like at the core of the experience of the Switch 2. Are you guys excited for it? Like, do you see yourself buying the camera and like really looking forward to it, and I don't know, ordering Mario Party and other games that use it? How do you feel about it, Birria?
Well, with the seat button, I really like it, and you know that Nintendo have that with this coach co-op gameplay or whatever that's their essence. So how Nintendo can do it with the online, so and that the seat button, they still want you to see somebody, have that view, and you can see the gameplay. Not at the best quality, let's say that. Maybe okay, we can see that the game is running like 15 frames or whatever,
15?
but
It's
it
like
has some
8.
sort of view of that, what he's doing,
Yeah.
whatever. So I really like it. I see people having some sort of complaint that, hey, if you don't pay the Switch Online, you have something in your control that doesn't work. But I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. So I really like it. I want the camera. I think that I saw, I don't know if it was in your channel in GameXplain that you can use any type of camera. I think so.
Yeah, that any compatible camera, they said. So we don't know if there's any limits on it, but it sounds like a lot of generic USB cameras should work.
Yeah, but
okay, so
that's
great.
But will it have limitations? Because I was going to ask you guys. There's been a lot of patterns going around about the possibilities that the AI, sorry, the game chat camera might have AI implemented in it in some way. So I think I saw a pattern I saw a pattern of like it being in the living room and almost having like these little miniature characters, almost like Pikmin, running around your living room and climbing up plants and stuff. And I thought this is something I could definitely see Nintendo stepping into, is using AI in some way. AR in some ways.
AR, yeah. That'd be fun, but they haven't really done much with it since like with a 3DS, right? Where it came with those launch AR games that had the car, Space Raiders. And
it was so good.
That would be amazing.
I will say, so a couple of things to address your questions. I actually am kind of excited for the camera. Like, I didn't think I would be, and I think it's because I'm actually more excited for, not necessarily for the game chat thing itself. I don't think I'll ever really use that much. Like, with all my friends' viewpoints, I don't really care what they're doing in the game. I want to see my game full screen, right?
Yeah.
But what I do like they're doing is how they're incorporating it into the games. Like, I played at the Switch 2 event, the Mario Party Bowser Live Mode, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where he actually puts you into the game. You play like these iToy like mini games. That's pretty fun. Like a little gimmicky, but pretty cool. But then you see now in the main Mario Party game, when you're playing with friends, you have like your little face icons next to your characters. So you can see your friends' reactions. Same thing in Mario Kart. Like, I actually love that stuff.
Yeah, I do.
So I hope that they do more of that. So I did buy the camera. I'm excited to see it. But the actual game chat function itself, like outside of those, I don't really care about, you know? So
yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. I'm happy with just the little things, just the little face icon spinning when they get red shelled. Like, just that alone is going to be so
awesome.
Cool. I wonder if, because we can see, like Birria mentioned, the frame rate when you've got the 4 miniature screens at the bottom, like they're like really low. But I wonder if you have less screens, whether the frame rate goes up, whether you have only 2 screens below or just an extra one.
I really don't think so.
Do you think that
would be the standard? It doesn't bother me, but it's there.
It doesn't bother me that much because it sounds bad to say that it's almost got a Nintendo charm. The fact that it's so it's just so broken up, but. I feel like it might be distracting if I'm playing and I can just see these really low resolution frame rate kind of things at the bottom. So
if you're all playing Star Fox on Super Nintendo, you'll hardly notice it. So
So what I also wanted to talk about. So we got that, of course, the launch. There's been also loads of rumors talking about a Nintendo Direct happening maybe the same week or the week after. But not much has been said, or not much has been rumored about what could appear, except for the fact that months and months ago, when they were talking about Nintendo's possible strategy for the first year of the Switch 2, they kept talking about these 3 waves, and that in that the first wave would be primarily first party games, and then we'd get a second wave of announcements, and they would be focusing on third-party games. So supposedly this Direct, maybe some reports, some rumors are saying, could be heavily featuring, whatever, Microsoft games, Ubisoft, whatever. So we want to go through a few predictions of what we think might show up at this Direct, maybe what we hope. And so maybe do 2 or 3 each. Birria, do you have a prediction of what the first thing you think we're going to see at the Nintendo Direct?
Talking about a possibly new Direct with third party or first party games.
I think it would be third party game. Well, it's whatever you think is going to be. What do you think?
First party game. I just want one. Kid Icarus. I just want a remake. Whatever. Kid Icarus of Ryzen from the 3DS. Bring that, baby. That game. Because I remember that I think that I hear that they was developing that game for the Wii. I think so. Then they changed it for the 3DS. I think so. So
yeah,
playing that game with the mouse mode, that would be that
Oh
would
yeah,
be oof,
yeah. Because on the
godly.
3DS, it killed your hands. You remember you had to have that. They released an attachment
That's
to
true.
make it more comfortable.
My hand's never been
I
the
still
same.
got it. I still got it.
You're like Chandler with the claw from Friends. You know, it's impossible to play. That's already a bad sign. Like if you're releasing a game that you have to release an attachment to make it comfortable, that's already maybe we should probably rethink the control scheme here. Andre, what's your first prediction for the Nintendo Direct that might be happening?
Yeah, I don't know if this really counts as a prediction, but it kind of relates to what you were saying about being third-party focused, because that's my general sense on this. Like, I don't think my specific prediction is we don't see much in the way of brand new games here. We actually know a shocking amount about the rest of the year. Like, I think we know probably most of the Switch 2's lineup first-party wise for the rest of the year. So I would be surprised if we get any more than maybe a singular, smaller new game for the rest of this year. Because otherwise, they have a game for practically every month of the year. So I think they're going to really focus on, third-party games, new announcements for those third-party games, and also dive in deeper on the games we already know about. So I'm really not expecting too much beyond that, but I do think they'll flesh out, games like, Donkey Kong Bonanza much more. Maybe Metroid Prime 4. We actually still don't know much about like Kirby Air Riders. We know almost nothing about that game. So I really feel like that's going to be largely the focus, and not a whole lot in the way of like giant new announcements.
Yeah,
but Andre, you imagine that battle between the Kirby racing game and Mario Kart? Damn, that would be.
Do you mean
I don't know what's going on there.
Which one?
Sorry.
Which one, Birria?
Oh, the Kirby racing game versus the Mario Kart World.
The air ride.
I don't know yes, because I really every time that I think about it, I was like, damn, I don't know if it was a good call, because it's like saying, hey, just change in Kirby with F-Zero. Mario Kart will eat F-Zero. Right. So it's the same thing. Mario will eat Kirby, but I know that Kirby have their own and niche, so
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
No, I agree. The timing's a little weird. Yeah, the two big kind of kart racing games are the one is way bigger than the other.
In the same year.
Yeah, in the same year. Does seem like a lot. Now they are fairly different, especially Kirby Air Ride goes more in on the awesome city trial mode, which is more like an open world type thing, rather than a specific race to race thing. But yeah, I mean, it also has racing as a big component too, and it does feel like coming out in the same year as Mario Kart, it does feel kind of suicidal.
Wait, we got fast racing, right?
Fast Fusion.
But we got another one. We got the Sonic game. So this year's going to be a racing year.
Good point.
I don't know what's going on this year with the racing and arcade game, but we got Mario, we got Sonic, we got the fast racing, and the other one was
I heard someone on your podcast the other day, Andre, talking about Garfield Racing too.
Yeah, the true killer app.
Like, we'll hold back. No, see, like I'm like bullish about this direction. I think my predictions are insane. I think we're gonna get Microsoft games for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there.
You see that?
Like mate, I'm gonna go right in and say I think we're gonna see Doom Dark Ages announced for Switch 2 for sure.
Yeah.
And possibly I don't know if they'll show all the games, because I do think almost all their games I can think of will probably come over. Like I think Hi-Fi Rush is going to come over. We know Call of Duty is going to come over, but I don't know if they'll show those yet. But I do expect Doom Dark Ages, and I do expect maybe even to come out before that, Sea of Thieves. I feel like will come out, because I think that's a
good one. That game would be perfect for game chat.
Yeah, exactly.
A perfect showcase of game chat with then Sea of Thieves. That actually might get me back into the game. I've only played for a handful of hours. I had a good time, but I just wasn't like pulled back in. But having a lot of people playing it, alongside me for the first time on Switch 2 through game chat, that could be amazing. So
yeah, and I do expect. I mean, I'm just going to throw them all out now. I do.
Halo? Halo?
Yeah, surely. That was the big rumor, right? Like Halo Collection and Infinite. I do.
Gears of War.
Which one? Yeah, Gears of War. Yeah,
Gears
for
of War?
sure. Gears of War remake. Yeah, exactly. And I do expect we're gonna see. I don't know which one, but a Assassin's Creed. I don't know if it'll be like a collection of Odyssey and Origins, or maybe they'll actually straight away just show us something for Shadows. Maybe a release date for Shadows or something. There is. I'll go to Birria because there's one I wanted to ask. Andre's already told me what he thinks, and I was surprised by his answer. We're going to talk about a big game, whether it could come to the Switch 2, but I'm going to wait because it's connected to another game. But Birria, do you have any other predictions for the Direct?
Okay, I'll say Kid Icarus. I really don't know. They like Andre say, and they almost cover in every single month.
But we don't have a Nintendo game for December, right? For the holidays, do we? It's nothing for the holidays.
Not necessarily. Well, it's hard to say. It really depends on how they space things out. I have to look. I had a whole chart here recently, but I think they do have enough where they could fill in every month, depending on how they count their games. Like DreamX Drive, as opposed, does that carry a whole month or not? Right? If it doesn't, then I think that does leave a December gap potentially. But the thing is, Nintendo doesn't always release something in December either. They have with Pokemon, but now we know Pokemon's in October.
Yeah.
So that just kind of changed it maybe a little bit. Smash is a big exception, but there's no Smash this year. But it is possible. You are right. There could be a December title. I think I'll go into one of my predictions then, because I kind of teased it a little bit, but I do think they'll have something for Mario's 40th anniversary. This is the big anniversary for Mario this year, Super Mario Brothers more accurately, and I think there's a chance that we'll finally see something like Mario Galaxy 2. That could be a big holiday title, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Remaster of that game, mouse support
would be perfect. Yep.
It'd be great.
Yeah,
do you know what's funny is that when I interviewed Nash Guido, one of the things he said to me was that Nintendo did have another surprise announcement come in, and that they actually had let it slip. Someone at Nintendo had let it slip what it was, but that no one had noticed. So I was like, well, hold on, what do you mean? And so he said, yeah. He's like, he couldn't believe it. He said one of their staff members, someone at Nintendo, let it slip, and no one noticed. And so I assumed it was someone at a treehouse or something. So I started scouring around through footage, trying to see if I can find anyone talking about anything. And a few people who sent me messages seem to think, I can't remember the reasons why now, but they seem to think the same as you, Andre, in that they think it's going to be Mario Galaxy 2. Which I would be super happy. I hope they put some more care into that than they did with the Mario Collection of just widescreen and whatever. I hope they, really touch it up, add mouse control and whatever else. Maybe some bonus stuff. I don't know, but I agree. I think that could be, I don't think we're going to see a new Mario for a long time. I don't think we're going to get a new Zelda for a long time. Although we're going to talk about a Zelda later.
I do think there is a small chance. Here's a fun prediction. I don't think we get a brand new 3D Mario this year. As we have a new Donkey Kong already, with Mario Kart World. There's a lot of things competing over the holiday season, on top of potentially Kirby Air Riders. Not that that's Mario adjacent, but it's Mario Kart adjacent. So, but I do think there is a small chance they actually do tease the next 3D Mario here, for release, sometime next year. And that'd be kind of amazing, because the one thing we are kind of missing right now is we have no idea what's actually happening next year for Switch 2. In fact, we know more about Nintendo Switch 1 next year than we know about Switch 2. We know about Rhythm Heaven now and Tomodachi Life, is it? Or whatever.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Tomodachi Life, yeah.
Right. So I do think Nintendo probably wants to have at least one title out there like that for us to look forward to in the distant future, distant relatively. Although there is another game that we'll talk about soon too, I'm sure.
Yes.
With that rumor you mentioned.
Yes, we will. I was my last prediction is that I feel pretty good about it as well, is that I think we'll get Metroid Prime 4 finally dated. Finally have a date. Yeah. Surely, right?
We better.
They better. Jesus Christ, they have to surely. And I want to believe it'll be the holiday game, but I just don't think it'll sell enough. I think the game could come out, get 99 on Metacritic, get 10 out of 10 by every other critic, could be blowing up with everyone talking this the best game of all time, and it still would sell the standard 3 million. I just feel like, for whatever reason, it's just always stuck in that space.
It doesn't help that the marketing for it hasn't even been that good yet. Yeah. The reveals have been weird for it, and not even counting the first couple of reveals, of going years back. Yeah, so I really hope they get that figured out because I mean, for one, I hope the game's really good. I'm
Oh,
sure it
yeah.
will be. It's retro, and two, I hope that if it is, that they figure out how to market this thing because it would be nice to see it reach a broader demographic beyond what it typically does. I mean, even Metroid Dread has got really good reviews, capped out the
But
usual 3 million or so.
Yeah, and
So
that game's
but
amazing. Sorry, video.
but you think that this new Metroid will have any sort of online?
Like multiplayer.
I think there's a
Yeah.
chance.
You
I do think
think?
there's a chance. I think so because it's
Ooh.
like this is Nintendo's like one like there besides Splatoon is their only other real shooter property, right? And I
Mhm.
feel like that would be a great kind of almost Trojan horse to get people to check it out for the first, to check out the series maybe for the first time if they know that there is a multiplayer component, especially with Nintendo going so hard in on the online, game chats side of things. I
Yeah.
could see it. I wouldn't bet on it, but I do think it's a real
Oh.
possibility. They have
Oh.
flirted with multiplayer before, both in Metroid Prime 2 and also again on DS with Metroid Prime Hunters. So it's
Mhm.
not unknown, and also Nintendo Land if you want to count that
Yeah.
too. So it's not impossible, and I think it is likely, or maybe not likely, but possible. So yeah.
It's
Generation Force.
Do you know what? Yeah. What's funny is that with the Mario movie and the Zelda movie coming out, if there's like one property that needs a movie to be a big hit
Right.
to propel
Yeah.
the game series, it's like Metroid. And if there's like one game that you could make something so incredible of, is like a futuristic sci-fi bounty hunter alien fighting. What's it called? Film. They could make something incredible with that IP, and I feel like I almost feel like after Mario, as much as I love Zelda, I almost feel as though they should have been preparing a Metroid, maybe not even live action, maybe animation, I don't know, but that's got to be the next one they make, right? Like Andre, surely.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, especially after playing it, the Metroid Prime 4, the Switch 2 event, like it reminded me of how much I like that series in general,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm just really hyped for the game, as a whole. So I really hope that they market it right, paired with like pair Metroid with more expansions in the future. Like I remember when Super Nintendo World was first announced, I'm like, oh, how cool would the Metroid ride be? And of course, that never ended up happening, and probably will never happen. But a movie would be, or a TV series, either way would be great to help push the Metroid brand out there. I just want to see it too. I would love to see their take on Metroid in a different medium. So
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's one. I'm not predicting this, but it's just going to move on into our next topic. I already know. I don't know what Birria thinks about this, but I know what Andre thinks now. Because, and it kind of ties into with Cyberpunk as well, because I think a lot of people, there was a lot of talk about maybe the Switch 2 not being as powerful as maybe some people would hoped it was. Especially when the specs came out, that you could see it was more powerful than the PS4, but maybe it sat between like a PS4 Pro or so. But then, judging by the eye, we started to get comparisons, especially on Digital Foundry, of games like Street Fighter 6 and Cyberpunk, looking and running better than their versions on the Xbox Series S, especially Street Fighter 6. The image quality over the Series S is crazy. Like you can see what the potential it has, especially with intensive games like Cyberpunk. There was a rumor the other day. It was a listing that leaked on GameStop. I don't know if you saw this, Andre. You probably did. Is a listing for Crimson Desert, that massive. We've got open world, kind of Zelda-esque. It's like a mixture of Zelda, Lord of the Rings, Ghost of Tsushima, like really vast, intensive game full of effects. It looks like it's more of a benchmark game than Cyberpunk even, and that's still up there on their, I believe, on GameStop's coming soon list. So, and a lot of people seem to think that anything that is announced for the Series S seemingly can run on the Switch 2. So with all of that, the attention went to GTA 6 because it was announced for the Xbox Series S. And a lot of people had their say about it. Digital Foundry, they spoke about it, and they more or less, without saying outright no, they kind of said like, no way, that's not running on the Switch 2. I myself, after seeing all these things of Cyberpunk, the way it's running, the inclusion of DLSS, the rumors that there could be more RAM given to developers going forward and taking it away from the operating system. The supposed rumors of an update for the DLSS on the Switch 2 makes me think, God, they can do even more. But to you guys, to Andre first, GTA 6 on the Switch 2. Blow up in the chat, people. What do you think? Can it happen? And do you expect it to happen?
I mean, can it happen? Sure. Will it happen? I don't think so. I just don't see it. Just like, knowing their history of like Rockstar loves to present their games, I think, in the best way they can.
Mhm.
And for as strong as the Switch 2 is, I don't know if it's at the caliber that it needs to be to handle a game like Grand Theft Auto 6. I'd be happy to be wrong. Obviously, it'd be great to play it on the system, but I think that whatever version, however it ends up looking on the system, for as powerful the Switch 2 is going to be it would be markedly worse than the PS5 or the Series X versions,
Yes.
right? And I don't know if they would want to reduce it by that much, even on the greater install base of the Switch 2. But here's the thing: Grand Theft Auto is perhaps the one of the handful of games. It doesn't matter what platform you put it on. People will buy that platform to play the game if they can't already. So
Yes.
I don't think it not being on Switch 2 is probably one of the few games where it actually might not matter at all to it. And the fact it hasn't already been announced already, I think, is pretty telling. That could change, of course, but I'm not expecting it. I don't see it, and I don't think it needs to be on it.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on, my friends. Look who I've seen in the chat. Well, hold on. Can we do claps here? We can do claps. Nash Weedle has turned up. The man of the hour.
my goodness.
Oh my goodness gracious me. He's going to cause some waves now. So, of course, Nash, there you go. He says he believes it's possible. What I say is I do. Like, I mean, I'm someone who, I'm a dreamer. So it's hard for me to say no. I do. What I would say is I'm very intrigued. What I want to see is how it runs on the Series S. Like if it's a mess on the Series S, then you think, oh, okay, it's got its work cut out for it. No. But if it comes out on Series S and it's looking, if it's 1080, 30, like I'm gonna start believing. See, my issue or my question for whether it would appear on the Switch 2 was never whether it could run. I always thought it could run. And I'm sure they could make it look, whatever, close to the Series S. It was whether, like Andre alluded to, whether they would want to because of a few things. Is the audience there? There's a Nintendo audience. Do they go out and buy GTA in big numbers? And then I always wondered if Rockstar were always worried about the online infrastructure of a Nintendo system. They always seem to me like they worry about the online of the Switch. Too. But as we've seen he's here, the man, Nash Weedle, who also said that the Switch 2 will be getting a DLSS upgrade, maybe getting more RAM as well. So it'll be interesting. But I think I think it will come. Well, sorry, I think it could come. I think it could run. I think it's other things that might maybe stop it. Just from my opinion, that might maybe stop it. Birria 507, what do you think, my friend?
Let me say this first. I'm not a big fan of GTA. I will say it. I don't care.
How'd you turn his camera off? Let's turn his camera off quickly. How'd you turn it off?
GTA. I really respect GTA. Okay, I'm not a big fan. So I played the third one. I never played this and the fourth one and the fifth one. I played a little bit, but I wasn't a big fan. So talking about the sixth and this new one on the Switch 2, okay, let's say they will do the double dipping. And I don't know if you all remember that a lot of developers was doing this. They first bring this X game to Xbox and play. Then maybe a few months later, or maybe 1 year, they will bring it again. So the same people that bought it on Xbox or PlayStation, they will now I want it. Now I want this game in portable mode. Then they will go and double dip, on the Switch. So I can see that coming back. Like, okay, they will release the GTA game on Xbox, PlayStation. Maybe 1 year, 2 years later, they will bring it on Switch 2 with the PC and release. So because I see that same mode with Monster Hunter Wild. So and I think that in Monster Hunter Wild, no, Monster Hunter Rise, and it was only for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
I think that they bring the DLC for with and the day that they bring the DLC, they release the DLC with Xbox and PlayStation in mind. So I think they're going to do something like that.
Well, you know what's interesting? I just remember now because I'm going to translate what Nash is saying down there in the chat. You can see he's saying it's important to note that DLSS is going to continue to evolve on the Switch 2. It's going to continue to get upgraded. And I'm going to say, because what he mentioned to me, and it kind of correlates with what they showed on Digital Foundry, is that in our interview, Nash was saying that the update for the DLSS on the Switch would improve and get rid of what you're seeing right now and that's kind of like when there's a lot of movement, especially in Cyberpunk, in the hair, for example, there's a lot of artifacting happening that you can see. And the DLSS upgrades that will be happening is kind of to combat that going forward. And so it's quite interesting because that's one of the things they noted on the footage of Cyberpunk in Digital Foundry. They were specifically showing characters in the background that were moving around. I think they were playing basketball, and you could see their hair just kind of flickering and getting some artifacts going around there. And I think that's specifically what that's going to be there for. Before he goes, Nash, more claps. More claps for Nash. But I'm going to ask him if he's got one prediction for the Direct, just while we carry on talking. Nash, entonces, si estás ahí, amigo, una pregunta, si tú quieres, es solo para preguntarte si tú tienes un prediction, no un announcement o algo así que tú crees que va a salir en el Nintendo Direct cuando salga. We'll see if he's still there, what he says. But he's the man of that way. In fact, he did show something I was going to ask you guys about later, but he's probably, if we're going to talk about Zelda, we're going to talk about it. So Birria. So I see what Birria thinks. Andre is a little bit, like it could happen, but he doesn't expect it. I'm kind of like that also. I think it could happen, and I think it would surprise people of how it would look, but I think it is other things that maybe stop it from coming out. That's what I think. All right, so those are our predictions. What I wanted to talk about next was it's like one that seemingly a lot of people are talking about now. This is Nash spoke about this in our interview again about a week ago, and it's to do with the possibility, and this would make me so happy, the possibility of a Ocarina of Time remake for the Switch 2. So, there's been information about this for a while. People have, in the past rumored it. Nash, for his part, said that they've been at least a year and a half ago had been working on it, and that where they were then was possibly looking at redesigning it artistically. So kind of looking at the art style and whether maybe that, needs to be redesigned, and they were kind of going along those lines, but that it was definitely going to happen, and it's going to come at some point. Do you think this is something that, but keep in mind how much, the face of Zelda is Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom now. Could people go back and enjoy those games the same way, other than the people who grew up with Ocarina, for nostalgia? Do you believe it's going to come? And do you believe that a new audience would enjoy it as much as, let's say, those who grew up with it? Andre, what do you think?
Oh man, I think it's such a fundamental part of the industry, even if it didn't blow up to the same degree Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom has. It's so extremely well known. It's still one of the highest rated games of all time, I believe. I think it'd be huge, and I think it would find an audience no matter what. I don't know if it would reach the success of Breath of the Wild, but I don't think it needs to either.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think it also depends on what it is. Because I don't think you can just re-release this game with like a new coat of paint like they did with Metroid Prime and call it a day.
Yeah.
It's a great game. I don't think it quite holds up, especially in the post Breath of the Wild era. And I think they almost need to reimagine it to the degree that like Final Fantasy VII did. Maybe not to that extreme where you're like make 3 separate games out of it, but to the extent that you're basically reimagining almost every facet of this game, every facet of the world. And you need to make the world bigger. Like Hyrule Field, it was huge at the time. It feels quaint now. There's almost nothing to do in it. Yeah. So they'd have to expand that. Give you more to do there. Yeah. Maybe they can add an open world component to it where there's just way more to explore, even if the story is still largely linear. I mean, that's why I almost think like, is this even realistic? Like, would Nintendo even go? They've never done a remake that I can think of to this degree before.
No.
And I would love it, and I think it makes sense because we know the next true mainline 3D entry has to be at least 4 to 5 years away, given how long the gap was between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And so a remake makes a lot of sense because it could be a different team working on it, maybe a team experienced in either remakes or just a whole different visionary team in general. And I think it'd be amazing. but I don't know if Nintendo would. And if it just ends up being like a Metroid Prime style remaster, which worked for that game, I don't think it would hit on the same level that this game would necessarily. That I would hope it would. I'm sure it would for Nintendo, regardless. The budget would be way smaller, of course. But my hope is that it's a true like re-envisioning of what Ocarina of Time could be.
Yeah,
so.
it's funny when you mentioned Resident. I've heard a few people say if they did it Resident Evil 7 remake style, oh, that's something.
Is that Resident Evil 4, you mean?
Sorry, but yeah, exactly. That was something. I just quickly, Nash is talking about his predictions for the Nintendo Direct. Oh, mate. He goes. Let's see, Nintendo Direct predictions a little complicated because Nintendo's got things like in the fridge, and that kind of means in English, kind of like reserved, like ready to go, kind of thing. So Nintendo's got like basically they got bullets in the chamber. Wait, que también tienen que enseñarse. Vale, okay, so he's basically saying it's difficult. They got a few things kind of there in reserves, and right now they're like kind of looking at all the games they have and deciding how and when they're going to release them and how they're going to announce them. More importantly, which I know like Nintendo is super like meticulous of how they like to really control the message of the games for us and whatever else. So interesting. So he says they got things there waiting to be decided how to release. Hold on. Well, he says, "Look, wait, let me ask Birria something, then I'll read Nash's." So, Birria, what do you think then about the Zelda remake, Ocarina of Time remake? Do you believe it? Do you want it?
I would like them to do something with Ocarina of Time because for me that's the goal. It's still the goal. I really love Breath of the Wild, and you exposed me with the DK, and now I will expose you with and Breath of the Wild because you didn't like the game too much. Mr. ATV. Let me expose you. You really didn't
Nash
like that game.
Nash is here as well. Hold on. He's trying to make me look dirty.
Let me expose you because you make some sort of damage to my image.
Okay.
So let me expose.
Okay. Quickly, let
me tell Nash exposing Donkey Kong Country and not playing it.
Let me just quickly. Nash, no creas lo que diga este Birria. Va a decir que no me gusta Breath of the Wild. I do like Breath of the Wild, but okay, go on, Birria. Go on.
But yeah, but I hope they do something because if let's say we saw what they did with Xenoblade Chronicle 1 on the Switch. They make a huge update, so I don't know if they're going to do something like that with a new graphic engine and all that. The gameplay will still be the same. They will tweak the gameplay. They will try to match the gameplay with Breath of the Wild. I really don't know what they can do. I will accept Ocarina of Time with the graphic design of Ocarina of Time, with the graphic design of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I will accept that. That would be amazing. Yeah.
You know what I would love? If they remade it in the style of the Zelda Wii U demo, the tech demo.
I don't have a button for like ecstasy.
Right? Like even had the Goma, the spider boss in it.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, now let me quickly defend myself to Nash Weedle here. I do like. Hold on. Because someone else exposed me in the chat. Was it Templo Zeldero, who said I don't like Skyward Sword. This is true. I don't like Skyward Sword at all.
You don't like Nintendo, bro?
I tried.
ATV, we on church right now.
Yeah, confession. Yeah, I didn't like. I tried to play Skyward Sword many times. And I didn't like it at all. I hated the art style. No, odiaba el arte. Naturally, Skyward Sword. I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
I didn't think the motion controls worked for me. I know some people swear by it. Some people swear that the controls worked for them. For me, they didn't. And then I bought it on the Switch, thinking, I'll give it another go. No, until recently, I forgot I even owned it. I was like, no. I played it half an hour. No. Now, Breath of the Wild, just to go quickly, I don't want to keep Andre's time. Breath of the Wild, there's things about it that I love, ¿vale? In Spanish quickly. Cosas de Breath of the Wild que me encantan. But, there's too many things in there that to me lack in comparison to like Ocarina or Tears, or Twilight Princess. And those things for me are like the story's not as good, I didn't think. The lack of music I didn't think was great. The dungeons didn't feel, the dungeons don't compare. The dungeons
Like
don't
in the
compare
past.
to Twilight or Ocarina. The dungeons are no way near. You know, and there's too many things, and I still, but there's things I love about it. You know, like the orchestra when you get to Ganon's castle at the end. Oh, that's another thing I didn't like. The boss fights, they were much better in Tears of the Kingdom, but in Breath, oh my lord, no. But like, you know, and then as I played them more. Nash Riddle says he's really upset because I don't like Skyward Sword. Lo siento, Nash! Because he's leaving the chat. No, but as I played Tears of the Kingdom, I realized that whilst in Breath of the Wild, I love the idea that you can look at any puzzle and you can complete it a million different ways. That was like groundbreaking and it was amazing. And even the game design, you know, that the fact that everyone, I said this to Nash, everyone when they play Breath of the Wild, everyone thinks they're going their own way, and they're not. Everyone thinks they're making their own choices, and they're not. Nintendo is controlling you, like holding your hand. You just don't know it, and it's the most amazing game design. It's like you see something on a hill, so you go up there, it piques your interest, and Nintendo puts it right at the end. So then when you pick up whatever's up there, you're forced to look at the horizon, and they'll put something for you to notice straight away. And then you think, oh, I'm going to go there. And you're thinking that you're doing this all by yourself, but it's the most amazing game design. But I do miss the temples in Ocarina and Twilight Princess where, you know what, there's a puzzle, but there's only one way to do it. And I had to really think about how to conquer this puzzle. You know, I liked going to the dungeon and picking up this really cool weapon and knowing that every puzzle and the boss fight is all intertwined with this weapon, you know, and picking them all up. There's something that I like about the kind of linear, I know they're open world, but, you know, the kind of more linear aspects of those ones. And so when Enuma said that the next one was going to be following the blueprint of Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, oh no, I feel like crying. But it's just to say that. Quickly, Nash Riddle did say earlier that he expects next week for there to be plenty of third-party announcements, especially to do with games that we've spoken about here in this podcast. So I'm thinking straight away Doom and Sea of Thieves. I don't know what you guys are thinking. So yeah, but in terms of the remake, yeah, I think it's gonna come. I do. I believe it. I believe in Nash.
I hope so. I'll be honest. I go back and forth on like how I even feel about the nature of remakes in general. Like part of me is like the game already happened. Let it live as its own thing. We don't need it to be remade endlessly, right? On the other hand, like Ocarina of Time is one of those rare things where I'm like, man, I can only imagine how amazing that game could be.
Yeah,
remade or reimagined in this new way, and you know maybe it's not as good as my memory as I hope it would be in my head. You know, like that's the thing with these remakes is like how do you even remake a game like that? Assuming that's what it is. It could just be a straight up asset upgrade, and that will still be an enhancement. But still, if you reimagine it, everyone's gonna have their own vision of what Ocarina of Time actually is, and for the developers to find what a balance is difficult. It's not easy. But I want to see the attempt. I do kind of want to see what that actually could be, and I hope it's real too. So.
Yeah, oh for sure. I just quickly, Nash is saying in Spanish. He says, so let's be honest, the Breath of the Wild might not be the best Zelda, but it's the best game of all time for what it did. Like I said, there are things in Breath of the Wild that are amazing. Like, you know what? It's the first game in maybe 15, 20 years that made me feel like a kid. Like the first time you climb, I forgot what it's called now, the rock monster. You're climbing up rocks and it just turns into the Talos and you're like, oh my God, what is this? The first time you see a dragon flying through the horizon, you're like, what the hell is this? You just get lost. And it gave me so many of those moments I haven't had since I don't know what game. Maybe Ocarina, maybe.
I don't think I even saw a dragon until like I was a week into the game.
Me either.
How the hell?
Me either. I went to work one day. One of my friends said, because we were all playing it at the same time, and one of my friends said, "Yo, what do you did you run into one of these dragons?" And this, this was like a week into me playing it. So what are you talking about, dragon? He said, "Yeah, I was walking at night one day, and there was a dragon in the sky. I thought he was joking." And that very night, I started playing on my way home on the train. Bloody saw a dragon in the sky. I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do. I just stared at it flying by. I had no idea what to do. They had incredible moments in that game, Quickly, let me ask you about the film. What do you guys think about the film? Do you guys have anyone in mind for the cast that at all? Or do you want it to just be unknown actors?
I just don't want it to be Tom Holland. There's no Tom Holland anywhere near
Tom Holland as Ganon. No, plus he'd tell us the story. He'd tell us all the stories, anyways. Yeah, no, I hope it's just a just no one famous, just complete nondescript cast. I don't want anyone famous to be in it. But I feel like Ganon might be. If there's anyone that might be a famous actor, I feel like Ganon, maybe they might get someone. I don't know who, but maybe. But
maybe who plays Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy? Maybe that guy.
Oh, Bautista.
Batista.
Yeah.
Batista from
Maybe make a good
WWE.
Ganondorf.
Right now, someone at Nintendo is writing that down. Like, got him. We got him. Bautista.
Yeah. I almost feel like Ganondorf's probably the easiest one to cast. I feel like no one. I feel like anyone like that's big with a deep voice could probably work. Right?
Yeah.
Link and Zelda are gonna be the trickier ones. And because no matter who you cast, it's gonna be controversial. It does not matter. There's no perfect. I mean, even look back. It's funny, even looking back to the Mario movie, right? And how even myself, my reaction to that cast, like I look back, I'm like, that was kind of stupid. Like the cast was fine, it was perfectly fine. But at the time, hearing Chris Pratt is going to be Mario, like what, you know? And that's the thing. Like even once they announce the cast, I don't think we can fully judge it till we actually see it in motion, till we see the trailer or the movie in full.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous about that. When it's live action,
I'm nervous about just imagine Link voice. That's the thing with me.
I know.
Just imagine what Link will sound like. I don't know. That's worrying me a little bit.
He has to.
That's worrying for me.
I hope.
Yeah, he has to talk. Yeah, sure. He can't be like Jane Silent Bob. He just says a big paragraph at the end of the movie.
Exactly.
No, we'll see. I mean, it can't be long though until we hear at least about the cast, because I think it comes out, is it May or March 2027? But you think at least they're not that far away from, you think, like principal photography. So the actual casting it can't be long until the casting I don't know, comes out. They must have at least people in mind. They must be auditioning people, whatever. It can't be that long until we find out, surely. But all right, my friends, we're coming to the end. We're just going to take questions for the last 5 minutes. By the way, it's gone so bloody quick. Thank you so much, Birria and Andre, for hanging out with me. We got there. We had like crazy technical issues. It's a miracle we're even live.
Wait.
What?
We never talk about Silk Song. Oh, sorry.
Silk Song's
no, nobody knows nothing about that game.
Silk Song. Wait.
Song.
Maybe Nash. Cuando viene Silk Song? Surely Nash knows. Like, where is it? Like, where is that game?
Like 20 years and nobody knows something about that game. Damn.
Do you know which game? I don't think it's gonna come. Which game I really want? On let me ask you this before we go to the questions. If there's one, I mean, mine's not a third party, but if there's one third party game that you want on the Switch 2, what would it be?
Oh,
it'd be any game, any third party.
Oh man, that's
mine's not third party. I'll say mine quick, even though it's first party, but it's only because I really want, and I know Birria will agree. I really want Arms 2, but I don't know if it will come. But Arms, I loved. That was such a good game.
Arms is a good game. It's a big fan of Arms. I would love to see a sequel. God, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what I've even. Oh, I guess here's my obvious answer. Duh.
Here we go.
Dead by Daylight. I freaking love Dead by Daylight. We know it's not going to work.
Oh, okay.
The current one doesn't work on Switch 1, or it's rather, I guess, 1. It barely works on Switch 1. And also, it's one of those titles that apparently won't run or won't start up on Switch 2. So as a huge Dead by Daylight fan, I need them to fix this, because I would love to play on Switch 2, especially as relating to game chat. It's a perfect game for game chat.
Yeah, that's true.
Where your teammates are up to. Yeah, it'd be perfect.
I always liked the other one even more. Was it just Halloween or Friday the 13th? Friday the 13th, wasn't it? Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I loved how janky it was. Nash quickly. Nash says, maybe Birria knows what this means. I'm not sure what this means in Spanish. He goes, ¿Cómo se dice aquí en España? Silk Song son los padres. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means exactly. I mean, I know what it means if you translate it straight, but I'm not sure the saying. I'm not sure exactly what the saying is, but someone in the chat will tell me. But I bet it just means forget about it. Forget about it. There's no comment. What I really want is so Birria, which third party impossible
First
game
party
do you want?
Third party.
Any? Well, no. Third party.
First party.
Third.
Hey, let's go, Nintendo Land 2.
Nintendo Land 2.
Nintendo Land 2, yo, bring it!
Actually, despite my comments earlier about not being hyped for the Wii U launch, like I love Nintendo Land. Those multiplayer games are amazing.
That was my jam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
And I realize now, looking back, maybe it's because like 2 of those games are basically just Dead by Daylight, being like Mario Chase and Luigi's Ghost Mansion. Luigi's Ghost
Wait,
Mansion is straight up Dead by Daylight.
let me be serious. Let me be serious. If I need to take one game to bring it to the Switch and improve it, I would take the Pikmin series from the first
mouse
with the mouse control, bro. Because the
Oh.
best way to play Pikmin, it was in the Wii using the Wii control.
Yeah.
So that for me, that's the best way to play Pikmin. Now the Switch with the fourth one, it was cool. It was nice. It was okay. Playing with a traditional control. But now if Nintendo come and bring that game, if they improve the game, maybe resolution, FPS, okay, whatever. But the mouse control, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, that would be amazing. At least for me.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, just quickly before we look at the questions, the one of the things that excites me the most, I've said this before, I said this to Nash, one of the things that excites me the most about the Switch 2 is just going to play old games that get upgraded. So like I'm doing a video tonight for hopefully to go up tomorrow, and I was looking at the 10 games I really would want to be upgraded, and some of them would look amazing in comparison. So I'm looking like The Witcher 3, and Nash was talking about in our interview how in The Witcher 3, do you remember they gave you the control to move the sliders of all the different effects so you can kind of tune in the image and how you wanted? So that would look insane with a comparison. Stuff like Batman Arkham Knight, which ran like a mess on the Switch.
I know I'm going to see GameXplain doing a lot of tests with Batman to see just inserting the game if you see some sort of improvement.
Yeah, you got to do comparison videos on that, Andre. Oh my lord! Yeah, because like when you went into the Batmobile in Arkham Knight on the Switch, it looked like the screens in game chat. Just like 12 FPS.
Bad. Wow,
it was so bad. But that would look insane. Oh, Nash Riddle says the one I know me and Birria straight away want. Here we go. Astro Chain 2. How could I not say that?
Oh, come on.
The best game. The best exclusive on the Switch. Oh, my second favorite game after Dying Light. What? Yeah, that's another one. An upgrade of Astral Chain. Get that to 60 frames. That would be another one. That'd be amazing. Stuff like the Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein. Those upgraded would be amazing to play. Imagine them all of a sudden going from 720p to like 1080 or 4K. That would be 60 FPS maybe. That would be amazing. There's a good list of Switch games that could get upgraded. For sure. All right, before we go, if anyone's got any questions for Andre, for Birria, for Nash as well, get your questions in there. At the moment, I can see people say Kuma White wants ARMS 2. DG says what is 100% coming out, and that's Splatoon 4, 100%. Tony says, still waiting for Metroid and Peach to kiss in the audience. They're getting so close. What? Mario looks jealous. I didn't realize until he mentioned that. If you look at the front, look, they're about to do it again. Oh, there you go. Looks like they're nearly kissing. Shame on them. Poor Mario. Mira, to Nash. Nash, mira, que parece que Samus y Peach van a besar. Pobre Mario. Look at that poor guy. And Bowser, like, no one wants to sit next to him. Poor guy.
No. He's looking back at you for that comment.
Neza says Paper Mario 1000-Year Door. Yeah, another one. All right, do we have any questions? I can see just what people want. Someone said the Battlefront. That would be cool. It can't be long until we see Call of Duty either, surely.
For sure.
Yeah, that has to be another one. Do you know what? Another one quickly is I do expect the Resident Evil remakes to come over. 4, 7, Village. But more than that, I would kind of like to see a exclusive Capcom, maybe Resident Evil Revelations 3. That I would kill for that. That would be really cool. It's just to have something different, like you said. Andre, a lot of people buy another consoles, and they'll buy the Nintendo for the games you can't get. But if they start adding stuff like Astral Chain exclusives, Resident Evil Revelations 3, that would be really cool, I think. Rick Lee says, hi, hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. We are excellent. We had some nice chats. I'm the only one that believes in GTA 6, in case everyone's wondering. The haters are going to keep coming for me now. They're like, even your guests don't agree with you. Here you go. How strong do you think third-party support will be going forward? Andre, what do you think?
I think it's going to be pretty strong. I mean, I am a little surprised that we haven't had more announcements up to this point, but I think that's going to quickly change, with the Summer Games Fest coming up, the Direct and all that. I think it's probably just largely a function of not every developer having a dev kit in time to make games for more games for launch. But I think the launch is already really strong for third-party support, and I imagine it will continue to be at least for the next several years. My main concern is like looking even more out there, like what happens when the next PlayStation and Xbox
Yes.
come out, right?
Yeah.
Is that going to introduce the same issue we had with Switch 1, where the games just can't run on Switch 2? But for now, I'm optimistic that third-party support will be quite strong on Switch 2.
Yeah. Birria?
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Sorry.
You reading the chat? Do you think how strong do you think the third party support is going to be on Switch 2?
Like always, is Nintendo. They never miss with they release and being strong with the first party. That's first on all. Always going to be first.
But like the third
Nintendo.
party as well, the Activisions and Ubisofts and all them.
Sometimes Nintendo they step back, to let the third parties do their stuff.
Yeah,
and so. Well, first party always they try to be strong.
I think man, I've said this before, but I expect it to be the strongest they've had since the Super Nintendo. Like as long as there's as long as it comes out fast out the gates and they sell the 50 million that they're predicting of Switch 2 consoles, keeping it in line with the Switch, the biggest selling console for them. Then I feel like developers are going to be there much quicker, right? Like right from the start, rather than waiting a year, whatever it was, before jumping on. I expect to get we know we're getting Call of Duty. I expect to get Assassin's Creed. I expect, and not just do I expect to get these games, but I would hope that going forward in the next 6 months or a year from onwards, I expect to be getting those games day and date, hopefully. So like when the next FIFA game comes out day and date, when the next, I don't know, Assassin's Creed, the next Call of Duty, these games, right? They hopefully, and then there'll be less excuse for them not selling. Now we get them a year later, we get them with features missing and all this kind of stuff, full price. If they come out day and date and they're good ports, same price, all that kind of stuff, then I think it's gonna be. I'm actually really excited for the third party support. I'm really pumped for it. Sorry, Andre, you're gonna say something?
No, just playing some of the games at the Switch 2 event, Cyberpunk. Even though it's 5 years old at this point, it still feels incredibly modern. Or Split Fiction, you've seen those run, pretty flawlessly on Switch 2, or at least well enough. It does make me very hopeful that we're in for a good time for third-party support for the next. And I hope, as you're saying, we get those day and date releases. That's something Switch 1 kind of missed out on a lot of the time. So hopefully Switch 2, I think partially now with the momentum from Switch 1 to Switch 2, as you were kind of commenting on, developers realize, hey, this is going to be a big platform. It'd be kind of dumb to ignore it. So let's make sure we're preparing for it, at the least, alongside the other consoles. So.
Absolutely, and I can't believe I forgot to bring this up in the podcast. But Nash is asking, what do we think about the possibility that Nintendo might put some of their games on PC? So this came out. I know that some people, what came out yesterday, there was a there was a listing on, what was it, the Microsoft page for helping games run or whatever and they had Xenoblade Chronicles. Or was it which was it X they had on there? I can't remember which Xenoblade Chronicles they had on there. And everyone's like, no way, it's got to be a mistake. And Nash himself said it's got to be a mistake. But he did say that there was a pattern before from Nintendo that seemed to almost hint at that being a possibility in the future. I can't remember exactly what was in the pattern, but I did see that Nash posted it on his X account. So if anyone wants to check it out, go check out Nash Weirdo's X account. And he's got it there on a post. He's got a post of the Nintendo pattern, which shows the controller, but there was some hint in there that there might be a possibility, at least a way that they could port stuff to PC in the future. But man, that would be a massive kick in the teeth. Surely that's not going to happen, right? It's definitely not, the Marios and not the first party games. But what about Xenoblade and games on the fringes like them?
I mean, nothing's impossible. I mean, in a world where Sony themselves are putting their own games, PS5 games on PC, anything's possible. Nintendo's making mobile games now, which before they were, it seemed like that wasn't going to happen. But the difference is, when that first happened, they were in a very weak position in the marketplace. Their systems, the Wii was bombing, and so it made sense why they wanted to explore mobile. Right now, they're in a position of power, and this is the possibly the worst timing to be experimenting with this.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to send mixed messaging? Like, yeah, we'll have like that's going to be confusing for consumers. You know, at least some consumers like, oh, I can get Nintendo games on PC now. Why buy a Switch 2 or whatever? And I think Nintendo wants to avoid any possible confusion. Even if there is, you know, even if it may make sense in the short run or short term where some games that undersell on Nintendo consoles maybe could find a new market on PC, I don't think it's worth the possible long-term damage to the brand and the strength that they have. And we've seen this, you know, from time. I mean, Nintendo seems so focused on having their IP pretty much only available on Nintendo platforms. This is why we'll never see a Fortnite crossover, or why, you know, if you play Rocket League, you can only play as the Samus and Mario cars on Nintendo platforms. You know, Nintendo wants absolutely zero confusion, and I don't see why they would change it when they're operating out of such strength right now. So I don't see it. You know, again, it could happen in the distant future, but for right now, 0% chance.
Yeah, what do you think, Birria?
Yeah, I agree with Andre, and it's like, let's say Xbox, they was bombing a lot with the Xbox One, so they have to like a risk, so they create the Game Pass. So now they're doing better than before. So right now, like he said, right now Nintendo have this position of power.
Yeah,
they don't need to do something like that. If you ask me, really, I really don't see any type of benefit. I really don't like that. So I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. I really don't like it. It's not Nintendo. It's not Nintendo trying to do that. So, but with the cell phone, it's not the same games. So if you compare the type of game that Nintendo bring to the cell phone to that they have in cell phone compared to consoles, it's not the same. It's very different. It's like saying, hey, I'm playing X game on 3DS, and now I'm playing this game on Wii U. It's always different.
Yeah,
always like a big difference. So it's not the same.
But well, before I really
don't like that.
Yeah, well, again, Nash is saying that there was like patterns showing Nintendo games in other areas, and then, you know, he says like, then obviously all of a sudden Nintendo changes their controllers to include mouse controls as well. So like maybe it's connected, is what I'm saying. Like, I employ you to look at the patterns. They're really interesting patterns, and he's posted them. He's posted them on his X account.
It's weird. It's like, oh, so let's say this Metroid 4 is not selling. So because this game is not selling on Switch 2, so let's go and port it
on PC.
To PC. So I don't see that.
Metroid on PC. That. Oh my god, I killed myself. But remember this. This is not at all the same thing. But in the Nvidia Shield, didn't Nintendo put what was it? Was it Zelda? They put a couple of Nintendo games on the Nvidia Shield. Do you remember? I can't remember which game was there.
I think it was Galaxy.
They put GameCube. They put a couple. They put
only in China though, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I don't think they were the console not. I think the console wasn't available there then. I think that's why they did it, right? So I think they only did that because that was just the best option. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, I might be misremembering.
Yeah,
I think there's no other way to play their game. So that actually did kind of make sense.
Yeah.
But in a marketplace where you do have this brand new console, like, I don't know why you'd want to give any incentive for people to be able to play any of your games on any other platform.
Yeah, I do think that the fact that obviously Microsoft is like putting their games everywhere, and Sony, like you said, is putting their games on PC now. The more everyone else does that, the stronger Nintendo is. That's the thing, right? Because it's like the exclusive place to go. So, you know, Nintendo's stubborn. Oh man, I hope so. Please, please don't let it go. If I see Metroid on a PC, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna literally cry. But it would probably sell. It would probably sell. Right, my friend. We do have to go. Like, you know, I want to give massive thanks to everyone in the chat, of course. Thank you so much, everyone's tuning in who's liked. I forgot to say at the beginning, we are giving away a Switch 2 at launch. We're doing, oh my God, kill me, Andre. We're doing a 24-hour stream on launch. Dude. Game over for ATV. If you want to see... Sorry?
Is it gonna be just you the entire time, or?
Well, hopefully, my wife, who's trying to sleep next door, she's gonna come in. I think she's gonna play some Fortnite, and we're probably gonna play some Split Fiction together. But I'm hoping she's gonna come in and play some Mario Kart and give me some breaks. Wow. So yeah, but I said to Nash earlier, it's probably gonna be something like 2 hours of Cyberpunk, maybe an hour of Fast Fusion and an hour of Split Fiction and like 20 hours of Mario Kart, probably.
Yeah, right.
So, but we will be giving away a Switch 2 on that at the end of that that stream on launch. So if any even full subscribers, so if anyone wants to tune in on that day, maybe win a Switch 2. I want to thank my guests massively, Andre and Birria 507, who both stood here while we had insane tech issues and they did not run away. So I owe you a massive one. Thank you so much. Andre, where can the good people in the chat find you, and what's up next for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can find me at GameXplain, primarily on YouTube, but we're on TikTok as well, and most social media platforms, except for Instagram. I barely use that. Same. In any case, yeah, we cover all kinds of Nintendo content primarily. Coming up, I've got a video about, actually kind of similar to what you were talking about, but 10 games I want to revisit on Switch 2.
Nice.
That should be going out tomorrow, or 10 Switch games I want to revisit on Switch 2. They'll probably be going out tomorrow. Then I've got a few other fun ideas I have. If I can hopefully get them out before Switch 2 actually launches, that'll be keeping me pretty busy, I think. So lots of stuff happening on the channel for Switch 2 for sure.
Awesome. And both Andre and Birria's socials are in the description below, so make sure you go click on there. Birria, my good friend, where can they find you? And what are you doing next, my friend? You're probably streaming today, probably.
If you want craziness, if you want this sauce mode and stupidness and all that kind of stuff, Birria 507 is my name. Virando con Birria in Spanish. It's my channel. I can speak English and Spanish. Not the best English in the world, but I try to do my best, you know.
Very good English.
I think I'm going to stream later. I do streaming every single day, or I try to do every single day. So yeah, that's my stuff. So
perfect. So go make sure you go make sure you follow both of them, guys. And of course, Nash Weedle, I don't know when he came, but I think maybe Nash might have missed that Birria, for everyone again, has never played Donkey Kong Country. Mira, Nash, nunca ha jugado Donkey Kong Country. Fake Nintendo fan. Right, my good friends. Hold on, let me get the goodbyes ready. Friends, everyone in the chat, everyone in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in today. You can listen to this also on Spotify now. It will be up shortly tonight. I myself will be back tomorrow with my own video and whatever. There'll be news. So whatever news there'll be tomorrow, we'll be back there for that as well. Until then, everyone, have an awesome night, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.